All right, good morning, everybody. Today's Monday, September the 15th, 2025, 9 a.m. Gonzales County Commissioners Court will now be in session. We will move into public comment. We have one on public comment, which is Sheriff Keith Schmidt.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Just wanted to tell you quickly, we've got 103 in jail. 19 of those are being housed out of county, and of that, 16 of them have immigration detainers.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move into no further public comment. We'll move into the consent agenda. The following may be acted upon in one motion. A commissioner, the county judge, or a citizen may request items to be pulled for separate discussion and or action.
I didn't want to pull nothing, but I just had a question. I know we were donating some more of that scrap iron like we did in the past, and we talked about during budget running that through the auditor's office. Did we ever get any further on that, or what we ever do there?
No, we were going to start that next fiscal year because we don't have even the way to do it this fiscal year. You know what I'm saying? We talked about doing it next fiscal year, but I think, was somebody going to write anything up about that? Or were we done with it after?
We made all copies of it and everything.
Well, yeah, but just not on the books, and I know we talked about that during the budget, trying to get it.
If y'all want us to do line items for each one, we'll have to do budget amendments every time, put them in there. We don't have a total right off from the beginning.
So we were going to do that to be transparent.
Yes.
Right, because that's surplus of property that needs to go through the county somehow.
And then I'd create a line for whoever.
But I know we didn't want to put an amount in there because we didn't want them to think that they were going to get you. I don't know if y'all remember this, but we didn't want to put like $6,000 in there and then just assume that we were going to be giving $6,000. So we were going to do every time we got an amount, we said we would do a budget amendment, and then, am I remembering this right?
Well, yeah, but I was pertaining it more to things, the transparency, and then we have a total separate where we discuss who we're giving stuff to every year, and this is totally a separate giving category, as you might say. That
Not non-departmental in y'all's own budgets.
right, but I mean, it's something that we should, I think, talk about during the budget, decide it, and not the scrap iron that sits there, just donated or whatever, but just transparency is the main thing. So anyway, we haven't done anything basically since it was. What are your thoughts on this? How it should be?
We can. I thought we weren't going to do this till next fiscal year.
You know, what we talked about it, we just never.
I just thought we would, from what
I didn't
we
think we
talked
had
about it, we were
scraps,
going to
so-
start doing it then and there instead of that. That's, yeah.
Well, then that's my fault. I'm sorry. I assumed that we were starting it next fiscal year, so I'm sorry.
Because I feel that if we're gonna donate to certain charities, or it's even our job to donate to charities, again, it gets into that, read that email I shared with you guys about donating county taxpayer money to charitable organizations is that something that we should be doing with taxpayer money.
What do you want to build a budget line item, and just all the junk iron goes in there, and at the end of the year, we decide what we're gonna do with it?
I mean, when I sell mine, it's just give a receipt to the treasurer, and it goes in like a
It goes in the
revenue.
fund
It
balance?
just goes into the funds.
Well, that's what we did with ours. We donated ours to the Lions Club, but we made it apparent on the bill and everything. So-
Right, but I
So
mean,
we'd be transparent where it went.
right, but
But if y'all have a problem with who we're giving it to, then maybe we ought to just make a line item and just say it all goes in there, and at the end of the year, we say whether we're gonna donate to these people or we're not gonna do anything.
oh, that would make it easier knowing how much you have before you kind of give it, so, you know what I'm saying, if you were budgeting or doing something, you had that amount.
Before it's divvied out equally.
Well, not even that, but at least have an item of who's it's going to. I mean, like we do this one here, I don't know if they're on the,
Well, yeah, we don't even get credit.
they're not on the deal for it, and so
I have all that documentation. I spoke to the auditor about that at the beginning of the fiscal year. She told me I did do that, so we all are on the same page. Everybody he donated to did give me something.
Right,
But what
if
I'm saying
if
is
the
we don't-
outside auditors
Yeah,
wanted to see that.
they wouldn't see it.
They wouldn't see it because they would have to read every commissioner's court
They wouldn't see it, that's why we're saying it has to be within the budget.
in the budget.
Yes.
In the books, account.
So then maybe we need to make a line item, all that money goes into one line item in our budget, and then at the end of the year, if precinct 2 had $500, precinct 3 had 1,000, and so forth, then they can say, okay, we want to donate this money to be done in court.
Yeah, whatever, because then it'd be on the books.
It'd be a one-time
Yeah.
instead of 4 or 5 times.
Right. Whatever, but anyway.
We can still do that with this, right?
As long as everybody's okay with it today, I don't
Right,
see a
right.
problem, because it is issued to the Go Texan.
Right.
If y'all are all okay with going forward with this one today, then that's fine, but.
Because they've already sent it.
Whatever you do with it, it just needs to be so that it's transparent in everything that we have done as a commissioner's court. That's
the main thing.
So you probably ought, since you've already obligated some into this, we need to go ahead and do yours today. And then if we're
Start
gonna
the
change
next
next,
fiscal year.
we need to, when we start the next fiscal year, we need to do it that way. That'd be the simplest way. Sean, you got any remarks on that?
So I want one line that's gonna say sell a surplus in general fund or in each one of y'all. Cause y'all have one of those in y'all precincts now, just, not sell a surplus, but sell a scrap.
Well, you could put it in each precinct, and then at the end of the year, we'd say, okay, we got this much money, this is who we're gonna give it to, it'd be a one-time deal.
Or whatever's easier, simpler
Yeah,
for your
that's fine.
bookkeeping.
Right.
You know.
It's just then, it's gonna come out of that line, it's not gonna come out of
And then-
your text center.
Yeah, and then that way that year they'll know that precinct 4 had this much surplus and it went to da. The way we have it now is there's surplus that's gone, but we don't track it. We don't have any say-so, so that way we just stay transparent and we're good.
So then after the new budget starts, we want to just bring the money in. Sean will put it in our scrap fund or whatever.
Just make it to Gonzales County, your precinct, and then we'll take it to Cheryl.
Okay.
And Cheryl can,
All three.
we'll talk about how that will work in the background, but
Are
yes.
y'all all right with that? Do we need, well, it's not ready for discussion unless we get to make a motion on that.
When I would move forward, I think we have a little direction for the direction.
Well,
I know we've had some discussion on this in the past.
Oh, that's the way I thought we were gonna kind of do it so that we would have it that way.
It'd be a one-time a year deal, kind of like the deal we get from GDC on the funds that they're not, nobody accepts. Okay. Everybody all right with that?
Good.
Yep.
Move on then.
All right, so we're still on any other consent agenda items, we good?
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda, items 1 through 14 on the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second, to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
And we've got Jimmy Harness on the front line this week.
Heat on the front line, update on number 15.
In the hot seat.
I'm used to it.
Jimmy Harness on the drought conditions and the burn ban.
656 average, which is high. There's a small portion of Gonzales that's in the 700s, so I would recommend it according to.
I know where the 700s are.
I think it's right around here, probably right where the judge is.
No. I'm as low as you can get. This is what my ground looks like right now.
Yeah. So we're bad.
Right.
And I don't think there's any chance for any rain, is
20% chance today,
Really?
accidentally.
We walked through it.
I've seen 790 and couldn't get a shower.
Actually, the way it's been rolling, these little 10%, we've got a little bit more showers than we did during the flood that we were supposed to get today.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're good on 15?
We're good on 15. Thank you, Jim.
All right, number 17, discuss with action, approval of an exception to Gonzales County subdivision rules of precinct 2 for Atkinson. Jimmy, you're still up.
Ooh, wait a minute.
What about 16,
What about 16? Oh, I did skip one. Let's go back to 16, I'm sorry. Still, Jimmy, you're up. Discuss with action and exception to Gonzales County subdivision rules, precinct 3, Hink.
Yeah, this is pretty, meets our county exception rules in the order, 2 acres out of 98 to a grant.
Yeah, we talked about this morning, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to approve that subdivision precinct 3.
Second.
Motion and second, for the exception in the subdivision rules, precinct 3 for Hink. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 17, discuss with action approval of exception to Gonzales County subdivision rules, precinct 2 in Atkinson.
Commissioner Brzezowski, did you get a chance to look? It's just a brother. 1 acre with a house and then another acre going to a brother. Meets our,
I move we approve item 7 on the agenda, the action approval of exception to Gonzales County subdivision rules, precinct 2, Atkinson.
Look, I second.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the exception to Gonzales County subdivision rules, precinct 2 on Atkinson. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 18, discuss with action the approval of a variance request of Gonzales County subdivision rules, precinct 4 in Gentry and Lindeman.
yes, sir, this is a true variance. It does not meet our exception requirements, but it's a request of a variance before the court, cutting 7 acres out. Mr. Lindeman's wanting to do that. I'm assuming it might be for commercial, it's not for a subdivision, southwest corner for an agricultural business facility.
Collins, yes,
Commissioner Boatright.
that's what he said.
You spoken with
Yes, for Tom, he said they're gonna build a building on it. That's basically what it would be.
Well, they are, I guess you say neighbors, because I know the Lindeman property is right across, directly across the highway.
Yes, sir.
And this is an actual variance, is basically what we're looking at, correct?
Yes, sir, and I know that I've spoken to several of the commissioners about bringing the subdivision order back before the court sometime later next month to get some clarification on some things. One of the things is the variance such as this, so that the court, we can clean the language up a little bit, make it less confusing, and then address the exceptions and the variance on how the court wants to proceed in the future.
Well, like I say, it's right across, right, being the location and whatnot, so I guess I move that we approve the variance request of the subdivision rules precinct 4, Gentleman.
Second?
Motion and a second, approval of the variance request, Gonzales County subdivision rules in precinct 4 for Gentry and Lindeman. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 19, discuss with action interlocal cooperative agreement for the cost sharing of the legislative consulting between the Gonzales County and DeWitt County. This has come up again for Roy and Tony. These are, in the past, we have been with some other counties that have been involved in paying, which basically is they call it a cost sharing of legislative consultative services. To break it down, it's basically a lobbyists for our behalf. As far as I know, and Donnie, you've been here longer than anybody, correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing that we have actually received from them was several years, well, it's been about 4 or 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago. We got like 4.9 million in TIF grant for roads. So we continue to pay each and every year. Legislature, when they're in session, it's more expensive during the time. When it's not in session, I think that we are paying $1,500 every quarter. So that's $1,500 every 3 months.
So it's 6,000 when they're not in session.
Yeah, I think it's less when they're not. So it would be more. So this one here, yeah.
I think it's been very beneficial to us with the three years.
Well, we hadn't gotten anything in 6 years, so
Yeah.
they had a shot at it this year, but they did not award any of that TIF money to the state this year out of all that they had. But I mean, it's entirely up to y'all.
And I know there was legislation opposing all of that,
There was.
that didn't pass.
It didn't pass, but it came close. I'm sure they will go after that again. So Mays Middleton is the one that is, but actually I think Mays Middleton's running for Attorney General now. So I don't know if he would be on that part anymore. I don't know.
Carl, you got something you
Y'all
want to say?
got the TIF grant twice.
Twice?
How much?
They were both about the same, like you remember?
When y'all got
6
that
million both times.
One was 4.9, I think, divided by right at. I don't know what that
That's
was.
what they
That
were,
might have been a
too.
long time ago.
Yeah, we did
There was
that.
only one that I
Yeah, we
got
did
when I
that
was
out
involved.
there. Yeah, that was a tip grant.
Is this for a year at a time?
That's what I've been doing.
Yes, yeah, it's, well, yes, a year at a time, but it's broken down in quarters.
Pretty, it's whenever, well, I know this is yearly, but, they go and they lobby, but I told you guys we did not get the TIF grant. We didn't pass the TIF grant
Right,
this
they
year.
didn't pass it for this year. Emergency
So that's
services.
what paid for some of that whole road and all that, right?
Yes, y'all each got about $1 million,
Right.
and then $1 million went to the consultants.
So they got paid when we got the grant,
They did not get paid, our engineering
the engineering
firms,
consultant.
Well, the grant paid for whatever road work we did and then the engineering to have it done.
Right.
And I remember we had Anderson and we went out and used Nancy to do it at one time. So that turned out to be a mess.
Yes, sir, yeah.
He's a 16.
This is a year at a time. I think it'd be a good thing to stick with when you're around. And then next year when we look at it again, if we feel like that, we don't want to fool with it anymore, then we could step out. But I think we'll try to do this one more time. It has been beneficial.
Yeah, there's 4 counties and I know it's Carnes, us, DeWitt. I don't know who the other one is.
It's not
Wilson?
exactly, is it?
I don't think it's a lot.
I don't know.
And they don't,
You just had DeWitt and Gonzales.
Yeah, but it says also in here that the cost of the 4 counties execute the agreement, so I know that it's DeWitt, us, and Carnes. I think Wilson County is the other one. But this is the same agreement that we've had as long as I've known about it.
Well, I make a motion to continue with the interlocal cooperative agreement for the cost sharing and legislative consulting service between Gonzales County and DeWitt County.
I'll second it.
All right, have a motion and a second to continue the legislative services in agreement with DeWitt County. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. Number 20, discuss with action Gonzales County purchasing policy and procedures. Purchasing policy and procedures, is this the one where we're going to the, all right, so I'd asked Shauna to look into this and she looked into it to see what our policy states. Although our policy does say it goes with what state law is, and in the last legislation, so when we go out to purchase something, we had a $50,000 minimum that we had to do. Well, that's moved from $50,000 now to $100,000. Our policy states $50,000, and if we're going to be in compliance with the state law, then we just need. I just want to change the $50,000 to the $100,000.
To 100.
And that puts us in compliance with.
Well, we're still going to be in compliance with it. It's just I just figured we just run it through court so everybody knows. Because used to, if it was $50,000, you had to go out for bid. Now they moved that to 100, which is beneficial.
50,000 doesn't get you as far as.
No, 100,000 don't either, but it is more. But I just wanted to run it through y'all just to change that policy real fast and do it from the 50, just put it to 100, and that way, because it says we're in guidelines with the state law, but we're showing 50,000, and it needs to be 100,000.
Well, I move we change the Gonzales County purchasing policy procedures, changes for LGC Chapter 262 and Chapter 271 from 50,000 to 100,000.
Second.
Motion and a second to change the Gonzales County purchasing policy to reflect state law changes from the legislature from 50 to 100,000. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 21, discuss with action approval of order out of general election for county officers and for special election on November the 4th, 2025.
I move we approve the order of general election for county officers for the special election held on November 4th, 2025.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve the orders of general election for Gonzales, for our county officers for special election held November the 4th, 2025. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 22, discuss with action election precinct locations for the term of September the 1st, 2025 through August the 31st of 2026. Polling locations with fees.
All the locations and the fees are the same as they have in the past or something. The day of the year.
Well, I move we pass the action election, approve the list of election precinct location for the term of September 1, 2025, August 31, 2026.
Second.
All right, motion and second for the action for the election precinct locations for the term of September 1st, 2025 through August the 31st of 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 23, discuss with action approval of the order of appointment for the election judges and alternates for the term of August 31st, 2025 through August 31st of 2026.
It's just the appointment of all election judges, the Republican Party is the judge, and then the Democratic Party is the alternate judges.
Everybody all right with the list?
So the same ones. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I move we approve item 23 of the order of appointment for the election judges and alternates for the term August 31st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026.
Second.
All right, motion and a second for order appointment for election judges and alternates for the term of August 31st, 25 through August 31st of 26. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Require a signature from all of us. Number 24, discuss with action resolution for the assessor and collector of taxes to split all collections for the maintenance and operation portion to the county general fund and road and bridge fund from October the 1st, 2025 through September the 30th of 2026. And basically what this is that the tax assessor has just put that out there on the way we're going to split it, to divide it from our budget, with general fund receiving 75.80% and road and bridge 24.20%.
deposit of the maintenance and operations, I make it directly to the general fund and the road and bridge. There's no backup of me actually doing that split. This is an order from Commissioners Court directing me on that actual split to the general fund and road and bridge of that maintenance and operations split.
I move to approve action, resolution for the assessor, collector of taxes, and split the collection for the M&O portion of the county fund, road and bridge fund from October 1, 2025 to September 30th, 2026.
Second.
Motion is second for the resolution for the taxes split between maintenance and operation portion to the county general fund and the road and bridge fund for the year of October the 1st, 25 through September the 30th, 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. 25, discuss with action, county holiday schedule for 2026.
County holiday schedule 2026.
Second.
All right, I had a motion and a second to approve Gonzales County holidays for calendar year 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Discuss with action Commissioners Court schedule for the 2026.
I move we approve the commission court schedule for 2026.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve Commissioners Court schedule for 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
The extension office, it's nothing, they just,
They just send it, okay,
Yeah.
well, there's not a line item.
no,
for it.
no.
So we have received the Commissioners report for for the Gonzales County Board. Y'all get one of those also, right?
Right, wait.
27, all right, real quick, we're gonna run through a workshop regarding the updated Gonzales County Policy Manual. We have finally, after all these years, got to the point where we're about ready to put it to where it needs to be. You want the floor?
Yeah, we have a few things that brought to my attention that I'd like to discuss with y'all, see what y'all then take is on it. The first one being, the forms in the policy. The forms change so often, would it be okay with y'all if we like just took the forms out of the policy, have the policy in there, but not have like the forms? So like the ticket forms change, the mileage always changes every year depending on what the state has. That's the first thing that was brought to my attention. Just not taking the forms out of the policy.
Like this
Yeah, like the,
form, because it has the mileage and everything on it, but that changes every year.
So you have to create parts for it. Why is it, can that be an addendum to the policy manual that you can address separately, so you don't have to address the whole thing?
well, I mean, if we have it in there and it changes, then what they have is not gonna be like the correct, like, let's say, like, last year, I think the mileage was 65 cents, and then this year it's 70 cents, so they wouldn't be getting the correct, if we left, even with an addendum, we left it in there, it would be correct every year.
So kind of what you wanna do, if they need one, you just give them one for
Yes,
that
sir.
time.
Yes, sir.
You won't have some that are out of date for your policy.
Correct.
You'll hand them one as they.
Yes, sir. And as if they update, what we can do is, like, if you wanted me to, I can just email it to everybody as they update, and then, like, usually Renee, or someone from that office, whenever the mileage change, she always sends an updated thing, this is what the mileage is now, if the state changes to 70, well, I can put that into a form if you wanted me to, and then just email everybody as it changes. And that way they would have the form instead of it being inside the book, so we wouldn't have to worry about them pulling that, making a copy out of the book, and then it being the wrong thing, then turning over to the auditor's office, and then they turn in the wrong mileage amount, or, you know, what have you.
So I'm thinking, we're just gonna roll this out, it may not even make any sense. So if you keep up with the current policy book, which you do, you keep up with the policies and everything is current. And I know we have a printed copy in the offices, but we also now have it in the new world on computer. So would it be just as easy to have it and just every time the policy changes, send the new copy to them when you change it?
It wouldn't be a problem except for the fact that a lot of employees see my emails and then they don't update it.
No, I'm saying send it to all the elected officials so
Okay.
that if they need something out of the policy book, they can come to you or go to the elected official, and they will have the most current version of what it is.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm good.
No, she's gonna get hers, no, get it, so.
Right.
So leave the forms in there and then just send it,
Send
you all
out some
updated.
updated deal, delete the last, policy, replace it with this one here, and then you don't have to worry about nobody doing anything.
But are those forms, what section do they fall in?
They fall in different ones, like the sick leave form, sick leave pool forms fall into the sick leave pool,
They're different
that's on
chapters.
it. They're
But like
different.
if you had under the sick leave pool form or whatever, said to fill out the following application, and it you say C-section, appendix D has all those in it, so you're not changing the text of the body of the manual. You have that one section that has all the forms.
Like in the very back of all
Like in
the
very-
forms.
All the forms, and when you change them, they're only gonna change there.
And we can do that.
Just to make it simple,
Yes.
so you're not flipping through the book and seeing there's a form here, a form there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can do that, yes, sir.
Work.
But what if so if we're gonna have it on the website, that will always be the most current. Those forms can be on there as well. But like what Polly's saying is if you have your addendum, just like when you're changing your
Right.
policy, you just change those in and out. So that is the same. But if we also have it on our website, that is always the most
Right.
current. So anybody
Correct.
can go to it.
We can do that. I can just put it to the back of the addendum and then we can change them as they go. So, okay, everybody okay with that one?
Yes.
The next one,
Shawnee, you chime in over there, you got it, you awful quiet, awful quiet.
the next one we have is, has to do with, longevity. Longevity is a nightmare every year to try to figure out due to the fact you start, let's say you started February 1st and you come up with your 5 years. Well then, the auditor's office has to go and take February 1st to October, they get paid this amount. And then November through January, they get paid, or goes through November, and then December through January, they get paid this amount. We talked about, the auditor and I talked about maybe on your anniversary date, like let's say February 1st, if that's your 5th year. So instead of having to calculate from February to November, or and then December to January each year, making it February 1st, okay, that's your 5th year, this is how much you get paid, for that.
So like we say, on October 1st, however many years we're here, 5 years, 10 years, that's what you're gonna get paid. You're not gonna get paid 9 years and 10 years separate out. It'll be just one. It's not that much difference. I figured out a few people was gonna be like, you would get $40 more or something. It's not a whole lot. And I can really sit down and figure out
It'll
kind
make
of
it
how.
so much easier on you.
Yes.
It's a nightmare, it really is, y'all. It's a nightmare.
And I'm really not sure why it stops in December. I've never figured that out. So it just all
Let's
fluctuates.
just make it October then.
Yeah, October 1, no matter if you were here 10 years, that's what you're gonna get paid. You know, if your anniversary date's October 15th, and you were here 5 years, well, you get nothing, because you were October 1st, you were not here those 5 years.
You wait till the next year.
Yeah, you went to the next year.
It would make it a whole lot
That's
easier.
simplified, I think.
Yes.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Try it, see if it works.
All right, I'll change that and then the policy. Next thing is, the rule of 80 when it comes to retiree life, and medical insurance. Rule of 80 being if your years of service and your, age equals 80, and you've met the other retirement, like, your retirement, quote, retirement is not gonna change. You either have to be 20 years with us, or your years of service and your age equals 75, or you're 60 and you have 8 years. That's not gonna change. We're talking about strictly just for the medical, to get your medical insurance paid for by us. Right now, what it is for regular employees, is if you're 58 years old and you're 20, you have 20 years with us, we'll pay your insurance till you're 65. For elected officials, if you're 58, you have 12 years with us, we'll pay for your insurance till you're 65. This would just be the rule of 80 to where for everybody, to where your year of service and your age comes to 80, we will pay for your health insurance until you're 65 years old. Only if you are truly retired and you're getting a retirement each month.
So which would mean is somebody that retired in 78, in 2 years, that we would pick them up once they get 80.
No, that's another thing we're gonna discuss.
Okay. Just asking.
Consecutive, it'd have to be right when they retired. It can't be where they retired 5 years ago and then all of a sudden they're gonna not take out the retirement and they're gonna retire when they meet that rule of 80, they would pay for the insurance. It has to be where they have met that requirement as they retire, at their retirement.
Not separation, count as separation.
Because if you separate, anybody could just retire and just say, okay, then I'm gonna leave it in there for 5 years, let's say. When I reach that rule of 80, then I'm gonna get my insurance paid for. It has to be at the time of retirement that you've met that rule.
And we actually withdraw from TCPRS.
So you have to actually get a retirement check each month from TCR. You have to do it. It has to be
That
a
makes sense.
actual retirement. It cannot be where it's just, we have people that still have it in there. They haven't retired, so that would not be a true retirement because they said they retired, but they did not take a retirement check. They did not retire. This would have to be a true retirement. You get a monthly check, and at the time of retirement, you met that rule of 80.
You good with that too?
Good with that, Crystal?
Yes, sir.
Man, we love good if you work good with it.
Especially since he's the youngest with all this time, so.
So, just if y'all would approve of that, then I can get that also changed in there. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the actual retirement, it strictly has to do with medical insurance only.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with it.
Good.
Everybody good with that? All right, last but not least,
Another one?
Back to longevity, the bridging. Did you want to discuss that?
She done strong, don't she?
Huh?
my,
I thought she had two.
Just because.
oh, I got like 4, sorry. I sent a few.
We gotta get her out of that basement.
Mel, please get to it.
The bridging part on, go back to longevity. The bridging part of that is, let's say they left and then they had 5 years with us and they came back within a certain amount of time, we would let that 5 years count toward their longevity.
If they didn't take their
If
retirement.
they didn't take the retirement out.
If they take.
Are y'all okay with that, or do we do away with the bridging, saying it has has to be consecutive years that you have to be here for 5 years before you get the longevity? Or are y'all okay with doing, just keeping the bridging to where, let's say they were here for 5 years and they've been gone for 10 years and they come back and we still accept that 5 years. Technically, when they get here, since they worked with us 10 years ago for 5 years, they would automatically be getting longevity automatically.
Just we're taking serious on that
Chime in here.
What length of time are you talking about from when they left to when they restart?
They can do, by our policy, it just states as long as they don't take out their longevity and they come back, we would count their past years that whatever they worked with us full time, we would count that towards their longevity years. So as long as they never touched their retirement, they never took it out, those previous years of service would go forward and we would still count that towards your longevity. Because right now you have to be here 5 years before you get longevity.
If they take it out, then you start over.
Right.
Well, they do start over if they take out
But
their
if they
retirement.
left
If you take out retirement, you start over.
Yeah, sure.
But if you leave and in 18 months you come back, we would take your 4 years and then start you over here, so then in 1 year when you get back, you'll start getting longevity.
But when you left, you got your longevity during that time.
No, because you did not qualify to your 5th year.
Well, either way, you could be here
Yeah,
10 years
Alright.
and leave for 18 months and come back, and then you're gonna start at 11 years. Y'all not gonna start at 11.
Yep.
You're not starting over
That's if you don't take your retirement.
If
if you don't take
If
your
you don't
time.
take
So then
your
we have to
time
count
back.
these 10 years, and then remember you have a new hire date to keep adding to.
Which is gonna be a nightmare, figuring that out once we figure out, since we're going to the, also to the, let's say October 1st, you've been here how many years, we'd have to go back and say, okay, well then, back then, you were getting, it's a night, mind you.
It's great, but it's not.
It's a great benefit, it's just hard to figure out. To make this easier, the bridging part, if it was to go away, then as soon as they start, we could start the 5 years over again, whether they took their retirement out or not. It'd be a whole lot easier to figure out instead of having to go back and say, well, February 1st you started here, because like right now what we have to do, we have some people who came back. So now what we have to do, the auditor's office has to do now is they have to go back and say, okay, for when you were here 2 years ago, you had 5 years. So we have to take these 5 years now and figure out an X amount of money per month. Yeah. And then we have to take this new time that you've been here and take that X amount and figure it out with this amount of years that you've been here. And it's
New longevity's continuous, not come and go, and you keep, your years keep
So
stacking.
we're giving you a benefit for working for us continuously, not coming back. We have some that's come back 3 or 4 times already. They leave, they come back, they leave, they come back.
If I may just ask, maybe set a timeline, if you've been gone for more than 24 months, then you start over. Just because sometimes some things happen to somebody where they have to leave the county, say family reasons or whatever, they do that and then they can come back, you know, they didn't want to have to leave, but they, you know, circumstances prevented them from having to leave. So when they come back, then documents are doing 15 years worth of service or 10 years worth of service, and now they're having to start all back over again.
Mr. Justin Bonner.
So there's that, and there's also leaving the employee of the county to the voters. And then you get voted back in, it's just something to think about. Because then you start all over again, you know, and let's say you've been with the county and elected official for 10 years. Something doesn't go your way in an election, then you win the next one, you get it back, you're starting all over again. Just under what's being proposed. And before anybody says anything, that wouldn't apply to me anyway.
Or you could put it in there for elected office only,
Right, elected office.
not employee.
If you're employed, you do it at your own discretion.
That's not to me, if you're gonna do for one, you're gonna do for all, in my opinion, and you can't just say, well, we're elected officials, because none of us are promised a job. I mean, technically, I could be hired tomorrow. You know, I mean, y'all could say, you know what, Misty, I don't want y'all anymore, you're gone, and I'm gone. I mean, so there's no one that's ever really promised a job. I mean, yes, you're hired, you're elected for 40 years, it may not get retired, but we may get laid off or fired or, you know, so you're gonna do for one, in my opinion, you should do for all.
So just basically do away with the bridge
my suggestion,
Charlotte,
but
what's your suggestion?
That's my suggestion.
You know, we have bridging in other categories.
when it comes to sick and vacation,
Same thing, yeah.
if you come back within, I believe it's 1 year or 2 years, then you get your sick leave back, whatever you left with, you get that put back into your account, and then you also start back over at wherever you left off at. So if you left and you were getting 4.62 hours of vacation, you technically still get those 4.62 hours of vacation. That was something else I was going to bring up also.
As long as they do it standardized bridging where
Right.
there's a timeline if you leave and
Yes.
coming back or no timeline at all.
Unless, yeah, we just put a
You
timeline.
just start over, yeah.
The only thing is if we put a timeline, like you said, for elected officials, that's gonna be 4 years, not 2 years or 1 year,
Right.
you know?
True.
So that's,
Right.
What we can do with the bridging on the vacation and sick also to where when you leave, no matter what, when you come back, you start over again. You have to wait your 6 months. You have to start over at 3.70 hours of sick and 3.08 hours of vacation until you're for your 5th year.
I mean, it would seem to me like if we're gonna
Do
do
one.
away with it.
I agree, yes, sir.
Do away with all across the board, I agree with that.
If
That-
you're gonna do it.
That was gonna be my next thing over, was going over the sick and vacation also. Just trying to make everything even, run smoothly instead of being, okay, well, let me see, how long were you here, how long were you gone, and then going from there, and then them having to figure out longevity, and then us having to figure out, okay, well, are you gonna start over at 6 months with your sick and vacation? No, you're gonna come in and get your 500 hours that you left on sick. But it's up to y'all, whatever y'all want to do, that's just what I would just say, it would make things a whole lot easier and more streamlined, I guess, is it?
And how about
They would stay at work, they would
bridging or coming from another county? Say if someone was in Block County doing one job, came over here.
That
did
would
another
be, that would fall into the transfer rule that y'all have, to where if they transfer over, then they would keep they would not have to do their thing.
Because all that's TCDRS, either way you go.
Well, the transfer, yeah, as long as it's yes. But, I mean, the way y'all have it right now is if y'all transfer over, you transfer over and you don't have to wait for 6 months on your sick and vacation, you don't have to, wait on anything. I think longevity also, you don't have to wait on that either for your transfers. If it's a true transfer. Whether you transfer from one department, like if you go from Road and Bridge 3 to Road and Bridge 4, as a transfer, so you would continue your benefits, or you would definitely change it.
Is it the same with like the employees on the sheriff department have a few different schedules, or is everything else the same?
It would not affect them at all, because when the jailers go to cadet school, their stuff just transfers over, it's just a transfer, they're just in the same department, they're just transferring. Whether they be 420 with the jail, or they go to 425 with the insurance department, that's still a transfer. They still get to keep their stuff. This is just if you leave completely, like either get terminated, you retire, you can't come back for a little bit anyways, or if you resign, you would just start back over, no matter if you were gone for 1 day or you were gone 10 years, you would still start back over. Whether it comes to sick, vacation, or longevity. Totally up to y'all, whatever y'all, this stuff that was brought up to me that,
This was after we said everything else, so we can ask them.
Ask questions.
I don't have a problem with it, it's up to y'all. Legal have anything wrong?
I mean, kind of to John's point on the time frame, if you were gonna make it the same for everybody, and you wanted to factor in the official thing I brought up, then make the return date, within 4 years, across the board for everybody. And then, once that 4 years hits, then it's start over time, but that's just my opinion. That means right. It's just what I'm-
What it would do if you do it across the board.
If any employee comes back within 4 years, whether elected or not.
How long have we had?
whoo, A lot. We've had a lot. A lot of people have come and gone, come and gone, come and gone, come and gone, and it's a nightmare.
We pass on this one on bridge, and talk about it the next meeting.
Sure.
If you're all right with that.
How do other counties,
I'm gonna say,
is it similar to other counties, do they have it, or they're?
Everybody's all over the board on this one. A lot of them don't do the bridging. A lot of them just say, once you quit, you come back and start over. And then there's some that do have their different guidelines to where if you come back within 2 years, you come back within 1 year, then we let you continue where you left off at. I mean, it's not really, one side doesn't lead more to the other. It's pretty much all over the place. I don't get many people emailing me back on that stuff on these things, but the ones that have, it's been all over the board. It really hasn't been a defined where 80% do this and, you know, I couldn't really go off of that too good.
It's kind of like, I mean, think about it a little while, but some of the other elected officials that would be going back because give a little time to think about it,
Okay.
address it.
I think all the other ones you addressed, I'm all right with those.
the rest, table
Last
that
thing
item.
that I have is holiday pay. Right now, we have, that's for last on purpose, because I knew what was gonna happen on this one. This has been, this is we've also talked about, with some other people. Everybody gets paid differently. I mean, some people work 8 hours, some people work 10 hours, some people work 12 hours. So when you go, you have to figure out, okay, well, you're a clerk and you work in a county clerk's office, say, I'm just picking on you, Mom. You're sitting right in my eyesight. They get paid 8 hours. Okay, so they know vacation, holidays coming up, they're gonna get their 8 hours. Road and bridge, we'll pay y'all 10 hours and then y'all get 10 hours. Sheriff's Department, they're 12 hours, except for dispatchers, they get 8, but jailers and deputies get 12 hours. Wanting to see, and I have did a poll on this on other counties, a lot of them do 8 hours across the board, and that's what I was wanting to see, maybe changing it to where it's 8 hours across the board for holiday pay, instead of doing 8, 10, and 12, and 8 hours being fair, just to where everybody gets 8 hours. If you work 10-hour shifts, let's say, and you know a holiday's coming up, you know, maybe work a few hours in that week to make up those charges gonna be lost on the day. Or Sheriff's Department. We also had another thing we thought about, if you weren't okay with that, help me out with this one because I was having trouble figuring out this, if they weren't okay with the 8 hours, then we could do the 12 or 10 hours, but we would pay.
So right now, Road and Bridge gets the day off. Clerks all get the day off. Just the jail and sheriff's office, a lot of times they don't get the day off. So what we're doing with them is they're working their 86 in the 2 weeks, plus we're paying them 12 extra because they're getting a holiday. So if the 12 extra throughout the year, that's roughly $350,000 we're paying out extra for the holiday pay. And I know in the past, we used to have, we'd let them carry over 36 hours. Then after that, we'd start paying them out. But some counties would take their 12 hours and then they would have 90 days, 6 months, whatever you want it to be, to use it, otherwise they would lose it. So if they wanted another day off, sometimes they could use that holiday pay.
Or like comp? Kind of like comp?
Yeah, we just specify whatever, 6 months, year, whatever y'all want to use it in, instead of paying it out, it's just like an extra pay every pay period. And it does, I mean, it's quite a bit of.
Is that what you do for me?
You take off. Unless you work that holiday, you do get, yeah, if you work that holiday, we put yours into that holiday one and you have 90 days to use it. Yeah. Or across the board, everybody gets 8 hours.
Who else does this affect? This affects the sheriff's office only or what?
Yeah, the sheriff and jail are the ones that with the,
You're paying.
yeah, they don't usually get off. Some do, and if they get off, yes, they do get paid for it if it's they're 86 hours, within their 86 hours. But otherwise, it's extra pay every time.
Sheriff, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're sitting over there, we're talking about your people.
Your
Can you
department.
give us some feedback, your thoughts, please?
I'd love to. Yeah, I mean, to her point, I mean, as y'all know, I mean, we don't get the opportunity to take off Christmas or whatever, so those guys are working just like normal. I just know that we're used to those 12 hours, I guess, because that's our normal shift. But I don't know if there's a way to fix that. I mean, I guess anything that y'all are gracious enough to give them for working those holidays, whether it's 8, 10, or 12 hours. I guess they're struggling through the change.
I mean, on the other side is, right now, they're getting paid out for 12 hours. If you went to 8, they would just get paid out for 8.
Yes.
This is extra money for them, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
If everybody went across the board to 8, which is, it's not fair to some people that get 8, for another department to get 10 or 12, that's more of a benefit for them. And I get that's their, y'all hours, but.
That's our normal shift.
Right. Or you could take, like I was thinking, the 12, and we could just bake it, and then they would have so long to take it off. Otherwise,
Take it.
they lose, you know, you give it 6 months, and if not, they would.
That may be the better solution possibly. Like I said, I mean, we're one of the only ones that, like Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Right,
whatever.
right.
They're still working. Right.
And I'm sure y'all probably did like ETS, like this year you work Christmas, you're off New Year's. Next year you're off New Year's, you work Christmas.
We
That's
just
a
do
that's a scheduling deal.
Yes, sir, we just do the Panama, and so whatever it falls. And normally, Judge, because it's 365 days, normally it switches, normally. Yeah.
What do people like EMS and those people that do this, that have to work these schedules like other emergency people, how do they handle this?
I haven't called EMS, I just emailed director, other counties, I didn't know EMS or anything like that.
Why do other counties handle it?
They usually do 8 hours across the board. Most of them do 8 hours across the board, whether they do a 10-hour, 8-hour, 12-hour shift, they just pay 8 hours across the board and that's it. I did have one that came back with me and said that they do 8 hours across the board except for road and bridge. Road and bridge gives their 10 hours. Why they did it that way, I'm not sure why they said. But most of them did come back and say, and then I had one that said they don't even pay for holiday. They don't pay holiday hours. They do some kind of thing where you get so many PTO days and then that's it. So they don't even pay for holiday pay. But most of them did say they do 8 hours across the week. But I only had, like I said, 5 or 6 people get back to me on this, so I didn't have many to get back to me when I went on and.
I think this is another one.
Well, like, with road bridges, say Monday was a holiday, and they took off, got 8 hours. At the end of the week, they got 38 hours.
Right, they'd have to make up the 2 hours somewhere.
Or use vacation.
Or use
comp
vacation
time,
time
or-
or comp.
Because that's detrimental, because I can't have guys come in on Friday for 2 hours of work, that's not productive. And we start at 6 in the morning, and work till 5, so then they have to, it'd be kind of tough on us. Yeah, but kind of like sheriff, that's kind of the way bar, it's almost like, kind of like you're penalizing them for that schedule, on those days.
Well, it was just brought to my attention that some other departments, and we just try to make a easier, streamlined, fair way to get holiday pay taken care of. So, it's totally up to y'all on how y'all want to do it.
I'm kind of like Commissioner Bowler. I'm afraid it may hurt morale some, because it's going to feel like they're getting a cut in pay. But if this would maybe work, maybe give us to the next Commissioners Court to try to get you some more intel. I can gather some more data for you if you'd like. See if I can get a better answer. Glad to try.
I think that's what we need.
We need to do it now.
We're all gonna pass something here that's gonna affect some things we didn't realize they were gonna affect.
Okay. We'll pass on the,
So we're gonna pass on the last two things.
On the last 2 items.
Just-
okay.
everything else is good.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
All right.
just continue with everything as it is, unless we make a decision to change those last two that we just talked about. So,
Now, the longevity though, we're gonna stay the same this year like we are.
Yes, so.
When I pay it out, since we've already budgeted for that this year, this will
yes,
come into effect next October.
time.
if we go with that.
If you go with that, yes.
So what I'm trying to say is if this is the majority of all of our questions, we can go ahead and get this policy on the next agenda and implement it, so we'll have it. And then we
I had on the next agenda to be approved.
We're gonna put these last two things.
No, they're gonna, those are gonna remain the same, she's gonna change the other ones, and then if we decide that we're gonna look at it, we can always change it a different day, we just need to get that policy out
I
and
understand.
done.
So we're passing on longevity, or the, where if you're gone for so long, then you come back.
We're passing on the last two.
Okay.
It's bridging and
Yeah.
holiday.
The bridge.
Yeah, the bridging and holiday pay.
Judge?
And we always do an insert.
Also a question about the take-home vehicles. When I was reading it, all, I'm thinking that it's the old policy is in there. We need to get with Misty and make sure we get the updated.
Whether there have been, surrounding county, yeah, that one is in there, yes.
And
And also, that doesn't have the constables listed in there. And
Jimmy, so we may need to tweak
Okay.
that just some. It doesn't have those take-home vehicles in there. It says if they live in county.
Got it,
And I've got the updated one that I can provide to
Okay.
you for that.
okay.
yeah, 'cause that covers in county and this
Surrounding county.
stuff, but use for in county and the constable system, so it covers as well.
Yes, sir.
On the post-accident testing, I just had a question on that.
Okay.
About that. The only thing that I saw in there was if there's an accident, employees involved in an accident, that the elected official or supervisor may decide whether or not they want to have them tested for drugs or alcohol.
They have, we're our workers' comp law states that we have to have them tested for drugs and alcohol.
Okay, well, in that particular part of the policy, it says they may have them tested, not they shall have them tested. But I was gonna say, I'd recommend for, at least for serious bodily injury or death, they would be required to be tested. It's not up to
Right.
any certain elected official or supervisor whether or not they want to do that, but it would be required.
I think they just shall be tested.
Shall.
Yes, period.
I just took it for granted we had all of them.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yes, also I make sure we put a shall instead of may.
I can't remember, Johnny, does it talk about how they'll be tested?
I don't know if all that's outlined in there or not.
Typically, it's drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's a full screen.
Drugs and alcohol, though, what you normally do whenever they get in an accident.
It does say drugs and alcohol, but I don't know that it lists out what that is, but.
It doesn't go into details, it just says that you would test them, you know, they would get tested for drugs, but it does not go into detail. I'm not sure what type of detail,
It's a drug screening, I think it's what
but it says it's drug and alcohol.
drug alcohol.
Is that the same thing we do on Prince one?
Yes, sir.
So there's like a 5-pound drug test, a 9-pound drug test?
Yeah, see, this is see all that in there, I mean, I don't
It needs to be
know.
specified which drug chemical.
There's one drug screen, only for
Yeah, it needs to be
CDL.
specified. Because if you just say drug and alcohol, well, which ones? There's, like you said, 5, there's 9, there's 12, I mean, there's all kinds of drug chemicals.
So,
Be specific on which one.
which, one- I don't know the difference
I would
between
check
5, 9,
with,
and
check
12.
with TAC and see which one that they require in their policy. Or that, I mean, their guideline, and that's the one that we should use.
And for workers' comp required.
Well, yeah, whatever workman's comp requires.
Okay,
Would each thing be different, though, in the hospital, make that call, whether it needs to be blood sample or urine sample?
Well, that's if they're transported, then the doctor would make that decision, but if it's just random, then we have to send them like to Shiner or whatever.
now I send them here and I tell them it's a post-accident, I need a post-accident drug and alcohol test done, and if they take care of it, I don't know which one they do, but I just say post-accident, and they take care of it, but I can ask them, or I can ask TAC first which one that they say for
That would
workers'
be-
comp.
Actually, that'd be the same testing for the reason of suspicion as well.
Okay,
I mean, it's listed in 2 separate areas.
Yeah.
It need to be the same on both.
no, whether it be 5, 9, 12, that's
Yeah, I
what I'm
mean,
about.
whatever, but.
Is it set up if something were to happen on the weekend?
On the weekend, nothing is set up in the policy, no. I've had
I
where
mean,
they,
with the hospital,
Yeah,
would they
hospital.
know?
the hospital, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, the hospital was.
Yeah, we've had to take them and get them tested before.
Okay.
Yeah, 24/7, whenever we have a crash, we're taking them to the hospital to get it tested.
Yeah.
Where I send them, they go to the occupational health, so as the same as they go to the hospital.
Okay.
And I can go to the house. And get that in the house before the next meeting.
What else?
Y'all got anything?
I don't think y'all had enough. Oh, you know where he even tests his blood test, I draw the blood.
I bet you do.
I'll get these tests and I'll
All right, all these we tested, you call me.
I'll call you. I'll
Blood
call
test.
you.
All right.
Thank you, Misty.
That will conclude the workshop, and we are almost to where we actually have the official policy. All right, so, concludes 27 on the workshop.
Make the motion, we adjourn. Second.
All in favor? All right.
Just talking about